day will come when you think you are safe and happy, and your joy will turn to ashes in your mouth, and you'll know the debt is paid.
Your own brother said this to you?
Shortly before the Battle of Blackwater Bay, I confronted him about his plans to put Joffrey on the front lines. As it turned out, when the attack came, Joff insisted on remaining at the battlements. He believed his presence would inspire the troops.
Tyrion said, "And you will know the debt is paid." What debt?
I discovered he'd been keeping whores in the Tower of the Hand. I asked him to confine his salacious acts to the brothel where such behavior belongs. He wasn't pleased.
Thank you. Do you remember the precise nature of this threat?
I'm afraid I do, my lord. He said perhaps you should speak more softly to me then. Monsters are dangerous, and just now kings are dying like flies.
And he said this to you at a meeting of the small council?
Yes. After we received word of Robb Stark's death, he didn't seem gladdened by the news. Perhaps his marriage to Sansa Stark had made him more sympathetic to the Northern cause.
But what makes a good king? What is a good king's single most important quality?
This is hardly the place or the time.
Holiness?
Baelor the Blessed was holy and pious. He built this sept. He also named a 6-year-old boy High Septon because he thought the boy could work miracles. He ended up fasting himself into an early grave because food was of this world and this world was sinful.
Justice?
Yeah. Good king must be just. Horus the First was just. Everyone applauded his reforms, nobles and commoners alike, but he wasn't just for long. He was murdered in his sleep after less than a year by his own brother. Was that truly just of him, to abandon his subjects to an evil that he was too gullible to recognize?
No.
No.
What about strength?
Yes, strength. King Robert was strong. He won the rebellion and crushed the Targaryen dynasty. And he attended 3 small council meetings in 17 years. He spent his time whoring and hunting and drinking until the last 2 killed him. So, we have a man who starves himself to death, a man who lets his own brother murder him, and a man who thinks that winning and ruling are the same thing. What do they all lack?
Wisdom.
Yes.
Wisdom is what makes a good king.
Yes.
You heard of wildfire?
Of course.
The Mad King was obsessed with it. He loved to watch people burn. The way their skin blackened and blistered and melted off their bones. He burned lords he didn't like. He burned hands who disobeyed him. He burned anyone who was against him. Before long, half the country was against him. Arrows saw traitors everywhere. So he had his pyromancer place caches of wildfire all over the city. Beneath the sept of Baelor, and the slums of Fleet Bottom, under houses, stables, taverns, even beneath the Red Keep itself. Finally, the day of reckoning came. Robert Baratheon marched from the capital after his victory at the Trident. But my father arrived first. The whole Lannister army at his back, promising to defend the city against the rebels. I knew my father better than that. He's never been one to pick the losing side. I told the Mad King as much. I urged him to surrender peacefully. But the king didn't listen to me. He didn't listen to Varys, who tried to warn him. But he did listen to Grand Maester Pycelle, that grey sunken cunt. You can trust the Lannisters, he said. The Lannisters have always been true friends of the crown. So we opened the gates and my father sacked the city. Once again, I came to the king, begging him to surrender. He told me to bring him my father's head. Then he turned to his pyromancer. Burn them all, he said. Burn them in their homes, burn them in their beds. Tell me if your precious Renly commanded you to kill your own father and stand by while thousands of men, women, and children burned alive, would you have done it? Would you have kept your oath then?